Hey everybody, there was so much to talk about that I thought rather than pick a topic and then put that topic in the title, right? I thought, I'm just gonna, this is my way of just winging it. Because I didn't really focus on which one I wanted to chat because I thought, okay, if I talk about St. Louis winning their latest court battle, staving off the NFL, actually the Rams, but it's really the NFL's call for arbitration, then I wouldn't get a chance to talk about the Raiders' win over the Packers and how this sack-happy group came to bear, right? And then I thought, well, if I talk about that, then I wouldn't get a chance to talk about the Logan Paul YouTube fight, right? Which was, I didn't see it, but I popped up on Twitter as a popular mention. Hey, Miguel Nunquist. And I thought, this is crazy. And it just might be really, really a great idea, right? And I really thought, if you have we've gotten to the point in society, it's 2018, where two YouTubers, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Two YouTubers challenged each other to a fight. I don't even know how this thing came about, all right? And yet they filled up an arena in Manchester, in England, to fist fight each other. Well, okay, box each other, boxing. And I didn't actually see, I saw bits and pieces of it, but what I saw looked like Three Stooges. The whoop, 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 right? That I thought, as someone on Twitter put it, these guys are the ultimate businessmen to even think of doing this. So then I thought, okay, if I talk about that, then I won't be able to talk about where I think the Raiders' offense is probably going south a bit. And I thought, well, if I talk about that, I won't be able to talk about where the NFL is with respect to the run-pass option. And then if I don't talk about that, then I wouldn't be able to talk about the sad loss of John McCain, the great senator, not our senator, but a great senator from Arizona. So I just thought I'd put it all and everything else in one big bag and just, talk about it. So if you're here to hear me rant about Las Vegas, I'm not going to rant about Las Vegas. However, I will say that the county, Clark County, is supposed to release its parking, the first part of its parking plan requirements for the Raiders this week. It's supposed to be online. It's supposed to be on the website. In fact, you know what? I'm wondering if I check on the website, I might find them right now. So if you come, sorry, that's just not part of the deal tonight. But it, hey, look, I do have some other bit of news related to Clark County and the Raiders to drop. Are you ready? If you're ready, give me a Y with a yes. Just type Y. And while you're doing that, it's actually going to allow me to buy time, okay, to look up this whole issue regarding Raiders parking. So if I see some Y's up there, if I get to like maybe 4 or 5, I'll let you know what the scoop is, because I'm telling you, it is a freaking big scoop, folks. And I'm going to talk about it later in the week, but if you're interested, I will drop it on you. It's also a good way to find out who's active and who's not, right? Let's see here. Right now I'm searching for parking. I'm at the Clark County website, and I'm writing parking. Hopefully that this thing, parking law library, parking on code requirements, agenda, maybe stadium is it. It's got agenda, okay? So I'm writing that. Since none of you have expressed interest in parking, I'm not going to raise parking. Not parking, but my little thingy, I'm not going to issue it. I'm not going to raise it. I'm just going to say, hey, everybody. But it is big news that I have to share. Very big news. It's huge news. But if you're not telling me you're interested by writing Y, and there's like a bunch of you, then heck with you. I'm not gonna give it to you. All you gotta do is type Y. Yeah, you're interested. Okay. Or maybe you already did, and I just can't see it because I'm not. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Here's the problem. What you type is not coming up here. Let me show you what. Okay. This is what I see. This. Okay. I see this. All right. But then I'm supposed to see that. Like I got Miguel and John with 2 Y's. Okay, I didn't see that part, so I apologize. I got 2 Y's from my from 2 of my regulars. So you know what? That's good enough for me. The 2 Y's. You know what? There'll be 2 more people. There's 15 or 16 of you. Welcome to Zennie62 on a Sunday night. How you doing? All right. I'm going to tell you what the news is. Black Lion says Y. You got it. All right. That's 4. I need 1 more, and I'll blurt it out. 1 more. Just 1 more Y. Just 1 more Y, and I'll blurt it out. 1 more. All I need is 1 more. I got 3. There we go. Way to Lou came up. Okay, here it is. You ready? Drum roll? All right. On September 6th, Steve Sisolak is going to get sued by black contractors. Steve Sisolak is the Nevada Democratic gubernatorial candidate. I'll repeat. A group of black contractors is going to sue Nevada gubernatorial candidate and Clark County Commissioner Steve Sisolak. Voila! Isn't that big news? Okay. Hey, how you doing? All right, and if you're waiting for, and I'm gonna drop that one. Okay, in fact, you know what? I'm gonna tweet that out, as they would say on the street. I'm gonna tweet that shit out right now, man. Yeah. As Mikel Dunga says, oh dang. Yep, oh dang, oh dang. I would say oh dang, oh blink, oh bleep, oh yeah, oh a lot of things. There's a group that's really massively. Those dudes are pissed off, and I'll tell you why they're pissed off. I'm saying Zennie62 live stream talk. I'm actually gonna get rid of that, and then copy that, then paste this. What I'm doing is I'm putting this on Twitter. So the reason why I'm looking down right now is because I'm putting this on Twitter and I'm putting my information in, so I can access my own account, right? And you would say, wait, the captchas. We would say, wait, the cookies aren't picking it up. No, they're not. Isn't that something? So so now I'm putting about that one. What I'm doing here is this. I'm taking it right to the man himself, because I think he should know. Because I think he's a good guy. He's running for governor. You know, he's fighting the good fight. He's trying to fight the good fight. This guy, Steve Sisolak. Zennie62 live stream talk, Twitter, news. Nevada group. Not Nevada group of black contractors plans lawsuit against Steve Sisolak. There, and I'll tag his account, Steve, and then I'm writing in parentheses, sorry, Commissioner Sisolak. I just break the news. I just break the news. That's it. So that's the tweet. This is what I wrote, okay? Here it is on Twitter, okay? Boom. All right? It goes like this. It goes, okay. Talk news. Nevada group of black contractors. I said blacks. Let me tell you black. A black contractors plans lawsuit against Steve Sisolak. Sorry, Commissioner Sisolak. I just break the news. Okay. And I should say, since it involves the Raiders, I say hashtag Raiders. And then I'll tell you what it's about. I haven't gotten the lawsuit yet. I'm expected to get the lawsuit this week. Okay. Actually, expected to get the lawsuit a little bit later. Not this week. Not quite this week, all right? But here's what's happening, all right? This was last week. This has to do with a meeting that was held over at the Clark County Commissioner's office. And it involved, this was last fall, and actually what happened at that point in time. Actually, it was not even last fall. It was earlier in the year 2017, and around, I believe it was September, perhaps August. But at any rate, what happened was that it was, I know when it was. It was the time that, and I'll tell you exactly the time. Let me get it, because it was when Stanley Washington had promised the group of, had the jobs regarding the Raiders, and he put out this flyer, and September 8th, it was in September 8th, so he put out the flyer, actually in August. No, excuse me, July 14th is what it was. His activist bogus stadium claim leaves hundreds frustrated outside. And then it was, I believe it was during that meeting, or the meeting right after it, but there were many black contractors, maybe 250, maybe 300, but Sisolak, according to Stanley Washington, ordered those contractors to leave to make room for white contractors, okay? And Stanley never stopped talking about it. He came on my show and talked about it on August 29th of last year, said he was going to file a lawsuit, and then went to work planning that lawsuit, and, you know, he texted me that he's ready to go. And he did that yesterday, day before yesterday. So that lawsuit, I haven't seen it yet, but it's going to drop. And it's too bad for Commissioner Sisolak because, you know, I'm a Democrat, he's a Democrat, he's running for governor, but this goes under the saw of you don't piss off people you think, you don't piss off anybody, okay? But you especially don't piss off people because you think they have no power, no countervailing power. What's countervailing power? Power that can blunt what you do to them. All right? And a lot of things done today have a connection with the person doing that something to somebody else, thinking that the person they're doing it to has no power. The most extreme example, of course, is slavery. Even, I might tell you, slavery still exists today, and we've done nothing to stop it, but I digress. But my point is that this is a classic example of the perception that Stanley Washington and other black contractors have that, hey, you know what? You're trying to push us aside for some white guys. Now you're saying, wait a minute, the Raiders project is fine, minority hiring goals have been exceeded, and you're correct. And you would then ask, what is it that Stanley seeks out of this? And my answer is, at this point, I have to hazard a guess, because even though it came from that, right, it also concerns a larger issue of blacks getting work in Las Vegas, period. Not just the Raiders. That's one thing. But you've got the Las Vegas Convention Center expansion. You've got Resorts World, of course. You've got MSG, Madison Square Garden Sphere, right? Madison Square Garden Sphere as well. That's on schedule to get started. Already had I think officially to break ground, excuse me. And they're starting to ramp up with construction jobs. So there's about, an estimated $10 billion worth of projects going on in Las Vegas at some level, right? So what he wants, what he seeks, I honestly don't know. I have to speculate. But I know that it was the incident then that triggered, quite literally triggered Stanley to get to work. And I remember Commissioner Sisolak was going to say something to me about that when I saw him at the Las Vegas uh, Stadium Authority meeting of March of this year when I went back as part of my visit to Las Vegas Sevens. And he said, you had that guy on, but I think he was so mad that I had Stanley Washington on. He couldn't think of Stanley's name. But this is how Steve is, okay? I said, hey, look, and I said this to him, not then, but I had said this to him at CES when I met him. I said, hey, I'd love to have you on your show. And he goes, I'm not coming on your show. He says, I'm not coming on your show, Zennie. Okay, suit yourself, right? I'm still going to break the news. But it's like he's like, I don't like you. Okay, fine. You know what? Cool. Here's a big lesson to people in media. Don't go around pissing off other people in media. Don't go around pissing off people in media, okay? It's not a good thing. Because if somebody is predisposed to like you, as I'm predisposed to like Commissioner Sisolak as a Democrat, but then for him to get upset because I'm taking it's natural for me to take a position of opposition to the Raiders trying to leave Oakland. That's as natural as breathing the air. Yeah, of course. I'm from Oakland. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, here, Las Vegas. Come on. That's ridiculous. But for him to then use that, in a sense, personally against me, that's wrong. Especially if I have to talk about the man, or I feel I have to talk about something he does, especially if he's running for a very important position, governor of Nevada. Just saying, okay? Just saying. Right? So, hey, you know what? Let's see how this comes out. It's going to be interesting. Because, again, this is the era that we're in, I call it the era of the underdog. And what I mean by that is this. I'm not talking about a cartoon. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here. No, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about, if you look around walks of life, people who have been put upon by others in the past are getting their due, right? It doesn't matter if it's the Me Too movement. It doesn't matter if it's the rise in black entertainment that isn't really so much black entertainment as it is American entertainment. If you think about Black Panther, or you think about Equalizer 2, it's American culture, right? But it should have been thought of as such from the start. We shouldn't have to go through this problem. I don't want to get off on a tangent about that. You understand what I'm saying? Or the consistent concern that the Rudy Rule is being ignored by many in the NFL, or the anthem and how players are trying to make sure that their word is heard on behalf of the poor black communities that they come from, for the most part. So this is the time when people who feel like they have been disrespected, what's more than disrespected, violated. I think violated is the best example. It's that time when those folks are saying, you know what, we understand how to use the system to gain justice. That's what this is about. And Steve, shamefully, should be the first person to understand that. As a Democrat, any Democrat that doesn't get that today, you're not doing a good job. Okay? So that's it. I mean, don't know if Steve's tweeted back or anything, or he may be tuning in. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Hey, Commissioner. Sorry for the bad news, but hey, had to let you know, Stanley Washington is suing you. And he represents a group of black contractors who are pissed off with you. And yeah, they're Democrat, and you're Democrat too. But you know what? Here's another scoop. They're talking about starting, hold on to your hats, folks. You listening, Steve? Hold on to your hat. Blacks for Laxalt. Blacks for Laxalt. Are you kidding me? I mean, what? I mean, that's like, I can't even think of an equivalent of blacks for Trump. It's not quite that extreme, but, hey, look. But I'm not kidding you. That's how mad these guys are with respect to how they perceive Sisolak has treated them. Just saying. And, you know, I have to say that I haven't seen any photograph of Sisalat at an NAACP meeting or black contractors or, you know, anything that communicates directly a cause that, you know, benefits African Americans in Nevada and Las Vegas. Right now, if I'm wrong, Steve, hey, you know what? Send me an email with a photograph. Let me know. Put me on your press list so I'm not communicating the wrong thing. Because a lot of people watch my channel and read my blogs, and I got to put out something tomorrow that directly deals with, you know, this thing. So you're going to see your name on my publication, and you're going to think, oh, man. And I'm going to say, oh, sorry I had to report the news, Steve. Let me know what's happening. All right. Rest in peace, as Cowboy Wrestler with, and just did put out on comment, rest in peace, John McCain. A great statesman, a great politician, a man who, as my mom was saying, was definitely put here to do something. And I think, looking back as we do, it is to show us how to access our better angels. The better angels that say, you and I may have a difference, but we should be able to talk about it, not fight about it or the extreme, right? It's ridiculous. So, as T. Cooper, the champ, is here, just wrote on comments, he said, Cowboy Wrestler, you took the words right out of my mouth. Well, Cowboy Wrestler, I'm not going to accuse you of reaching into my mouth, but I'll definitely say that, you know, I agree with you. Now, let's turn to the Raiders. Can you say, uh-oh, Khalil Mack better worry? Didn't expect that one, huh? Yeah, uh-oh, Khalil Mack did better, you know, worry. In fact, I'm going to tweet that one out because I said Khalil Mack better worry because they got 5 sacks in a preseason game without him. You hear what I'm saying? The Raiders got 5 sacks in a preseason game without Khalil Mack. And that should concern Mack because in one fell swoop, or I should say more appropriately, in one game, and a preseason game at that, the Raiders basically communicated indirectly that they don't need Khalil Mack. They also communicated that, hey, given the way they're being coached, their defense would be even better, or as they would say on the street, mo better, with Khalil Mack. But they can turn around and say, you know what, we got 5 sacks. You want to hold out, you do just fine, we'll trade you. But we got 5 sacks, and you weren't there. That's exactly the situation, okay? Melvin Lovejoy says it's against the B team. But Melvin, here's the problem, all right? Yeah, it's against the B team, but look, last year we played B and C teams, okay, and we didn't get that. That never happened before. A team, whatever team. The whole point is that Khalil Mack, in fact, you say, Melvin, that it happened against the B team. Here's one for you. How about this? Khalil Mack played in preseason in some cases where the other team had their B team, and he was the only guy that got sacks. I remember it was the Cardinals, August 30th of 2015. He had 2 sacks in a preseason game. The rest of the team had 1 sack, okay? So, but can you imagine now bringing Khalil Mack back with that group, or whoever manages to stay out of that really great group of sackers, so that you're basically adding 7 sacks. It's pretty cool, all right? It's pretty cool. Melvin Lovejoy says, yes, I like what the defense is doing, but Mack would get career highs in this defense. I completely agree with you, Mr. Lovejoy. David Compton says, hey, Mr. Z, I missed seeing your show during the separation with the wife. Oh, no, sorry to hear that. That's what he wrote, folks. Okay, this is not something you can't make up. This is it. I'm not making this up. It says, Hey, Mr. Z, miss seeing your show due to separation with the wife, but good news, we're back as one, and now I can enjoy your show again. You the man still. Mr. Kingman, first of all, I am very happy that you've reunited with your wife. Congratulations. I am not only not married, I was thinking about, I'm not even going to use her name, but someone I dated 28 years ago, rekindled my relationship with her in 2013. I may have talked about it before, but her kid is just growing up to be this like little sprout. I mean, it's just sprouting up. It's like, it's really, I just looked at it and I saw it and I just said, my God, time flies. Man, oh man, it's great to see. It really is. It's great to see. It's great to see her happy. Very happy to see her happy. Even if we never got married and she married somebody else and hooked up with somebody else and all that, you know, but whatever. It's great to see that she's happy. And I'm glad to see that your wife is back with you and you're doing really well, you know, it sounds like. And welcome back, because, hey, if you weren't, you wouldn't be here. T. Cooper, so welcome back, Mr. Compton. It's great to have you here. I'm going to ask for some views now, okay, in a second. First of all, T. Cooper tells us the Arizona Cardinals beat the Dallas Cowboys by a score of 24-3. Now, here is my question to all of you. Who should be the second stringer? Should it be Connor Cook or E.J. Manuel? What say you? This is my poll. If you want Connor Cook over E.J. Manuel, just put a C. Give me either a C for Cook or an E, and I'm going to do the tallies right here because I want to see what the outcome of this is. All right, hold on a second. Connor Cook. You're getting Connor Cook and E.J. Manuel. A C for Cook, an E, you know, for, how would you do that? Yeah, like that, an E. E. T. Cooper wrote it out, Connor Cook, all right? An E meaning Connor Cook, all right? So we got one for Cook. Heck, I'm just going to eyeball it. One for Cook. Two for Cook. One for E. Black line, none of the above doesn't count. One for E, because we'll get there in a second. We got, okay, so now it's tied up. It's, okay, now it's 3 for Cook, 2 for E.J. Manuel, all right? Yeah, so far it's 3 for Cook, 2 for E.J. Manuel. Now it's 3 for E.J. Manuel, 3 for Cook. Black Lion is a holdout. All right, so it's tied 3-all. I haven't put my vote in yet. All right, I'm still waiting. So we got 3-3 tie. We have 24 people, which means the rest of you numbskulls are not typing anything. Come on, cough it up. You get me a C or an E. All right, C for Cook. C for Cook. Or E for EJ. So we got, all right. Pride and Poise has just put EJ Manuel ahead of Connor Cook by 1. So we have 4 for EJ Manuel, and we have 3 for Connor Cook. Hey, welcome to Zennie62. It's a contest. Oh, Pride and Purpose has just voted the latest. It's 4 for EJ Manuel. And Melvin Ludger says it's close and a lot of bad. That's funny. It's close and a lot of bad. That's hilarious. All right. So, all right. So far we've got, once again, I say to you, all right. So this is where the tally goes right now. I'm going to throw in my vote for EJ Manuel. And no, it's not because he's black. I'll tell you why I'm throwing in my vote for him. Because Connor Cook, at this stage, to me, still does not play within the plays. He has a tendency, for example, let me give you a specific example. First game, when it came turn for him to run the offense where the rollouts were established, rather than just throw to the motion guy that was that became the flat receiver, actually the play that I designed, he would wait for the deeper receiver to break open, and sometimes he'd get flushed out of the pocket or have to throw it away. He wasted the moment, whereas Derek Carr didn't do that. Derek just threw it through to the man that was open as per design. Let the play work for you. Connor Cook doesn't do that a lot. He tries to be the hero a bit too much for my comfort. Whereas E.J. Manuel, I can count on to play within the offense, and so I'm more comfortable with him. He can also run when necessary. And Cabarrus' Cook was trash on a Friday night. John Acosta says Gruden may bring in another quarterback, and he says, I think Cook should be waived. And Black Lion says, I hope he does get another quarterback, John Acosta. And that's a great point. Let's take a, since we're waxing on about these two, let's take a look at exactly what happened last night from a standpoint of the statistics between, for these gentlemen, okay? NFL and Jags, so by the way, and then of course we had the shooting. Oh, my God. And a guy named David Katz, and I'm talking about the Jacksonville Madden NFL tournament shooting. Man, the Jaguars and the NFL have issued a statement, and let me see if that statement is on NFL communications pages. It might, it is not. It's just a statement they issued the other way. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe they issued it. Let me see something here. I'm going into the NFL communications website. The NFL does not update its website as much as it used to. Kind of wonder why that's. I wonder if that's a reflection of budgets or what's going on. Assignment of people and all this. Something's happening. Whatever. Yeah, there's no statement there. There are transactions, however, for 826. Like, for example, let's see here. A bunch of different Denver added defensive back. Raiders are not on the transactions list. The Titans are, however. Tampa Bay added Mike Lapham, wide receiver from Ferris State, to the, never heard of Ferris State, to the reserve list. Indianapolis trades with Green Bay. Lanky Pinkskin went from Green Bay to Indy for Antonio Morrison, a DB for a linebacker. All right, now, and then termination of veterans. Curry Nelson's gone from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the statement on the shooting goes like this. The NFL released the following statement. We are shocked and deeply saddened by the horrific tragedy today in Jacksonville. Our hearts go out to all those affected. We are grateful for the first responders immediately at the scene. We support our partners at EA Sports and will continue to monitor developments with local law enforcement. That must have popped up on Twitter, because like I said, I didn't see that. Let me see something. I didn't see that on, let's see here, August. Nope, don't see it on McCarthy's site. And I don't see it on, yeah, it's Mike Signora. Maybe McCarthy's on vacation. Don't see it on Mike Signora's site. They must be just sending these things out by request, because it's not on the NFL media website. That's interesting. Maybe if I just go to NFL.com directly, or maybe they're just singing it, letting NFL Network put them out there, which might very well be it. And let's see here, Arizona Cardinals. I think that's the case. Yeah, and the NFL has a huge messaging problem. It really does. Wow, I'm looking at this huge run. Oh my goodness, that is an 80-yard touchdown. Wow. Now, what am I talking about? This is what I'm talking about, folks. Hold on a second. This is what I'm talking about, folks. Look at this. All right. Hold on. That. All right. and a nice little trap play, which broke the distance for a touchdown. I mean, are you kidding me? Wow. Take a look back here, okay? And that's okay. Hey, look at this. Look at this, all right? The Cowboys were in 4-3, 1-2-3, okay? And safety up close here. Actually, they have 1-2-3 here, and then they have the DB here. So they had a 4-4 look. Basically, the Cowboys had an 8-man front. Count it: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They had an 8-man front, and the Cardinals neatly clobbered that 8-man front for a score. And let's have this unfold again so we can see what happened. If I just tape, I thought maybe if I hit the space bar that would work, right? Nope, it doesn't. All right, so since the space bar type doesn't work, if I just touch the screen, yeah, just touch the screen like that. See, I just touched the screen with the space bar, that helps. Okay, so anyway, so you can see how this trap block unfolds. You can see the guard, there's the quarterback. The guard is going to execute his block. You see these down blocks. These are called down blocks, all right? So anyway, there's, okay, you see that? See the down, see that? The down blocks? And here comes the guard, you see that? And then here comes the counter. He's going to go this way, then he turns around this way. Here's the counter. So the defense takes a step in this direction. They get blocked, right? So now, boom, look at that. And the fullback, who is part of the counter, now comes up, and he's head on to execute, boom, the key block that springs them, right? So you've got a hole developed because you had part of the defense that was influenced in this direction, just enough to split it away from this part of the defense, which is blocked with the guard and the fullback, all right? The guard here and the fullback, right? In fact, the pulling guard is actually here. He's not even going in that direction. He's going here, right? So, and he's off to the races. And the safety is so far back deep that you can forget about him making a play. He can't make a play at all. Forget it. Touchdown. Now you would say, gee, how could they have stopped that? Well, that's a very good question. They could have stopped it by having this guard over the center here, all right, and the inside to clog these gaps, and then have a rule that if this guard pulls, he's supposed to be so close that he actually follows the guard. He doesn't have that rule. So watch what he does. Watch what happens. I'm pushing this to watch what happens, okay? So he gets, stop it right there, right? The center immediately hits him. He's just standing there because he doesn't have any order to come and march in. If he did, he could have followed the pulling guard, perhaps beaten the center's block, followed the pulling guard here, and disrupted this play. Meanwhile, look what happens here, all right? Let's go back a bit, right here, okay? So look what happens here. Think of if he were here, coming in this way, right? So let's have him come in, okay? So because, you see what he did? He came up this way, the guard went after him. If he were already in the hole, he wouldn't do that. This guard would have had to stop him, and this hole would have been sealed, okay? Instead, that didn't happen. He was moved out of the way. There was no end over here to come over. There's nobody here. Nobody. Why? Because look how far outside he is. He's basically already out of the play by where he is. This is the center, the guard, and the tackle. The end is way outside here. This is outside contain, yes. But he's not only way outside, but look at where he's lined up. He's, in a sense, not quite flex, but he might as well be. But he's also outside. He's supposed to have outside contain here. He's already out of the play. But the way this is designed, you've got both the tackle and the end outside the offensive guard. They've already given up the inside run. They have already given up the inside run. So they were ripe. They were ripe to get stuck. That's exactly what happened. The Cowboys got stuck. I mean, it wasn't funny. Okay. And I'm sorry, this is not, you know, that's not an issue of, well, gee, if in the regular season that wouldn't have happened. It's an issue of alignment. That's a textbook study in the perfect offensive play meeting the perfect defensive alignment. That's what that is. It's not a matter of saying, well, gee, our guy wasn't fast enough. It's a matter of everybody was in the right position. That could have happened in the regular season. So the Cowboys can't say, well, gee, it was preseason. No, it wasn't a preseason issue there. That wasn't a case of, you know, someone getting blown off the line. It was a case of your alignment putting your defenders in position to get blocked. Your alignment and your approach. That's what happened there. Okay? Now, if the running back, 22, had not went inside, if he had followed the guard, he would have gotten tackled. But he was looking for the hole. And there was a hole to be found. That was it. So anyway, fun stuff. You go looking for one thing, you find something else, all right? So, yeah. And then the Cowboy says, it's loony. He says, Black Lion says, linebacker took the wrong angle. And Barry Lee says, the Cowgirls will be lucky to have 3 wins this season. And, hey, Sean Grogan, how you doing? And, I believe we said, Jay Boogie says it worked because it was single high safety and the fullback took out the ID point linebacker. Yeah, but that's exactly the point. I mean, it worked also because the linebacker was there to be taken out. In other words, there was no stack. There was no defensive tackle there. Remember, the defensive tackle on that side, where was he? Outside the offensive guard, not inside. So they were all set. They were just giving that away. And to think about even further, you know, I really miss the 60s and the 70s style of running defense, where you had the linebackers up in the grill of the linemen at points, up close to the line of scrimmage, particularly on the weak stride and the strong side, not stacked back, because as far as I'm concerned, you put your linebackers, all your linebackers back there like that, they just get blocked anyway. They become part of that second level jazz. So they got gashed. Wow. And I wonder now what the stats were from that. I actually went to the NFL Twitter account looking for the statement regarding the Jacksonville shooting, and I didn't find it. But at any rate, that's not. Oh, by the way, also, if you're wondering, and you didn't see the game either, and you're just tuning in like I did, and you're thinking, gee, was that a fluke? Well, actually, no, folks, it wasn't. Take a look at this. All right, this is the Cowboys Cardinals game again. All right, and at Cowboys Stadium. Okay, and I'm putting this on mute. Sounds are coming through. And look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And that's 29 and 22. It didn't matter. It could have been me. I mean, all right, look at this. Again, you had that Cowboys, all right, look at that. And he went the other way. Hey, you know what here? What happened here was this is easy to explain. This was easy, very easy peasy to explain, all right? Just easy to explain. Because they have a run to daylight philosophy, the defense had him corralled gap-wise toward the flow, the apparent flow. He went back against the flow. Negative influenced them, and he went this way. In the Landry style of flex defense, the middle linebacker here, it would have been his responsibility to follow the running back in the 3 call and come over here and make the tackle, right? No, he's not there. So, all right, he gets hit by the center. Boom. Okay. He takes, see what happened? The tight end got his block off of here on the weak side. He's off to the races. There was no outside contain of that side. Wow. So that's something that, oh, and by the way, with the outside contain that was there, look what happened. Wait a minute. He overran the play. He's coming in on ostensibly a run blitz. Okay? So he's coming in on a doggone run blitz. Let's run it there. Come on. All right. Now it's deciding it doesn't want to work for me. Anyway, he came in on a run blitz here and ran past the play. But again, look at this defense overall. What do you have? Guard outside, guard outside. Nose tack. And no, it's not a 3 technique. 3 technique is here, folks. This is, over the center, okay? This is a kind of a Oklahoma look. Normally you'd have 2 linebackers, 3 down linemen, outside linebacker, right? This is a variation of that. Sloppy as heck. That's what it is. It's sloppy. Chase Edmonds broke a 28-yard run. It was Chase Edmonds. Wow. So, you gotta wonder how much damage on the ground did the Cardinals do to the Cowboys? Hold on a second. Arizona 27, Dallas 3. Cardinals scored 14 points. They have a new coach, Steve Wilkes. 14 points. All right, Mike Glennon was 8 of 10 for 35 yards. But rushing, you had Mr. Logan, 6 rushes, 86 yards, average 14.3 yards a carry. Edmonds 8 for 55 yards. He was averaging 5 yards a carry. That's embarrassing. That's now that's embarrassing. That's exactly what that is. His longest was 59 yards for a touchdown. You saw that one. So on the ground overall, they had see what their offense looked like in total. Excuse me. Yeah, they had 309. Excuse me. I can't believe this. They had total net yards. Look at this, folks. Look at this. All right. Total net yards, 209. Net yards rushing, 146. 27 rushing plays. You'd think that they had more. Cowboys, 269 total net yards. But look at that yards rushing. They had average game per rushing play, 2.5. Wow. Wow, that's defense. That's defense. I'm sorry I missed this game. That's defense. That statistic right there tells you all you need to know about this game. The Dallas Cowboys are only able to gain 2.5 yards per rush. That is a low you don't normally see in this era of football. That's a statistic that's normally hoped for in the era of the 70s when you had run-stopping oriented, 4-man front defenses, which later gave way to 3-man front defenses to combat the sweep. But 2.5 yards a rush. Wow, that's something else. So that's something else. Now I'm going over your comments. Barry Lee. Hey, Barry Lee. How you doing, Barry Lee? Says, oh, to me, Cowboy, but I'm still believe they will be lucky to win 3 games this season. Cowboy Wrestler writes, Barry Lee, I know, but I like to talk bad about Jerry's team. Barry Lee said before that, we do have to remember, it's preseason, so most of, not all of their defensive players who probably wouldn't get any playing time if they don't get cut. But here's the thing, though. Look, I don't entirely discount preseason for this reason. One thing that I love to look for is how fast teams get off the ball. And when your defense is getting blocked like that, and we could see it, one quality, obvious, with the Cardinals is they get off the ball like that. They don't mess around. And I mean quite literally, they don't. When the ball is snapped, they get off the ball fast. Boom, they hit you. They get you blocked. And that's why you saw, and the blocking was crisp. That's what is meant by having crisp blocking. The quarterback calls a signal. When the snap count reaches that signal where the ball is to be released to the quarterback, the offensive line comes out and they hit their marks fast and with precision. And that's what you saw with respect to the Cardinals. You should never discount great technical offensive line play in action, even during preseason. If you're seeing the Cardinal offensive line carve out holes like that and pick up yardage like that, it's more a testament to their coaching than it is any Cowboys deficiencies, which I contend are both schematic. Well, I contend they're schematic. In other words, but for a defender being here or there, I'm being, very general, those running plays would have been stopped, but they weren't. They weren't. Now, it begs the question, did the Cardinals game plan for this? I don't know. Some teams don't game plan in preseason, but I believe for the third game, you generally do game plan. And if they game planned and the Cowboys kind of, maybe didn't, it's obvious. So from that standpoint, I think you've got a point. But in terms of the physical abilities of the Cardinals, I'm going to say something. That is a team that's going to be reckoned with this year. I don't need to see much. It's a great thing about being, 56 now. I've seen enough. The Ravens get off the ball fast. The Cardinals get off the ball fast. The Buccaneers have an outstanding passing game. So those are, and the Raiders have a great pass rush defense. Those are the takeaways I have thus far for the NFL preseason as it goes. Oh, and the 49ers have a precision passing game that relies on a few plays. The question I have for the 49ers is, do they have enough general offense plays to be effective? Have they changed their offense enough so that what they did last year isn't what they did this year and becomes predictable and can be stopped? All right. Those are the questions I have. Hey, welcome to Zennie62. There are now 30 of you. How's everybody doing? Let me get back to your questions, your comments, excuse me. Calvin Russell says Bruce Arians retired due to health reasons. He's now partnered with Greg Gumbel and Trent Green now. Right. And John Akala says, yes, Arden Key looked relentless. Arden Key looked relentless. Let's go back and take a look at that Raider game statistically, since we looked at the Cardinals game. See how that turned out from a statistical perspective. The Oakland Raiders, 13. The Green Bay Packers, 6. And you could see John Gruden about to lose his hair, wondering if his offense is going to score more than, 6 points. They did. Scored 13. Overall, I think it was a disappointing game for John. Now, in terms of the box score, we had E.J. Manuel, 6 of 12 for 87 yards. He was the leading passer. And Connor Cook was a putrid 6 for 15. I'm not making this up, folks. Take a look. Look, this is it. Look, okay. All right, this is Connor Cook, okay. E.J. Manuel, 8 of 12, 87. No TDs, no interceptions. Cook, 6 of 15, 72, 1 interception. Derek Carr, 2 of 3 for 68 yards. Okay. Chris Warren, putting in work as usual. Doug Martin, 6 for 24. E.J. Manuel, 4 for 21, and Connor Cook, 2 for 19. Now, DeShone Kizer, who was with, you guessed it, the Browns. He was 11 of 23 for 120. Brad Hundley was 8 for 14, 78 yards. Daniels, 5 for 23. Jones, 5 for 18. Ty Montgomery, 4 for 12. So the Packers looked good in spurts. And I'm glad to see DeShone Kizer getting his chance with a team that, I think has they have a better coaching system overall for the passing. Hopefully Hugh Jackson's changed his this year. It looks like he has. But then there's that Hugh Jackson thing. All right. So, scroll down a little bit and get to the part we really like to talk about, sacks. In order to look at the sacks, we got to look at, boom, there we go. All right. Packers first downs by passing 10, by penalty 3. Average game per pass play. And here we go. We have to go down the net yards passing. And then time sacked. Time sacked, 5 for 43. Time sacked, 1 for 10. Ha 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 ha! Gross yards passing, 227. Not bad. 5 sacks. Average game for pass play, 3.7. There's your defense right there, baby. Average game for rush play, not bad, 3. Not bad at all. Overall, like I said, if you're Khalil Mack, you're saying, oh, man, I'd love to play in that defense. And the Raiders are saying, we know without you, man. We'd love to have you, but I think if you decide you don't want to play this year, I think we're going to be okay. With a wink. And they're saying that with a wink to themselves because they know, on the flip side, that the hanging Chad out there is, hey, if he were in this defense, we would be really killer, wouldn't we? And the answer is, yeah. Get him back. Get the dude back. Oh my gosh, get him back. Oh. John Marks is here. John, John, what did you miss? I'll tell you. Just before I make a comment, just after I make a comment regarding explaining Corey Brown. Corey Brown said he stayed in Phoenix for 5 years. He loved it. When the Raiders came to town, tailgating was legit. Half sea of red and half black. Welcome, John. What did you miss? Okay, Joseph Bensman says that Chris Warren seems to have some talent. Barry Lee says, Zennie, how does Oakland look this year? Since I can't watch preseason games here, I have to wait for regular season broadcasts. I'll get to that in a second. I was going to say, because the reason I say I'm going to get that to the second, Barry Lee, is I want to get back to the comment. I was going to make a comment about what John Marks missed, and what I was going to explain that he missed is is that Steve Sisolak is going to be sued by a group of Nevada black contractors starting next month. That's what you missed, okay? And I reported that, and I sent that out in the tweet, which I did also tag Clark County Commission Chair Sisolak, who's also the Nevada Democratic gubernatorial candidate. So hey, that's the big news. Broken here. Yeah, broken here. There you go. So, and John Mark says, okay, thank you, Zennie, to which I'll say, you're welcome. Rob Iman says, fact or fiction? Raiders trade for Teddy Bridgewater. You know, here, let me check. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because let's go to the New York Jets game. And the reason why I say let's go to the New York Jets game is because I didn't look at the stats for it. The game wound up being one where the New York Giants beat the Jets 22-16. And as we go and look at it, I thought both quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater was the leader in passing once again, 11 of 15. 11 of 15 for 104 yards. And Sam Darnold was 8 of 16 for 86 yards and a touchdown. But Bridgewater was 11 of 15 for 104 yards. So once again, Teddy Bridgewater has outplayed Sam Darnold. I wrote it before, and now I'll say it, okay? If the Jets trade Teddy Bridgewater, I don't give a bleep what their plans were. If they trade Teddy Bridgewater, they're stupid. They are trading themselves out of the playoffs and potentially out of the Super Bowl running. That is what I think about the Jets' potential with Teddy Bridgewater versus Sam Darnold and Josh McCown. That's what I think. Teddy Bridgewater makes the Jets competitive. The other two quarterbacks do not. That's the difference. So if you're asking me what I think the Jets will do, my thought is that the Jets will keep Bridgewater because it's the smart thing to do. Now, I always bet with the bias that the team, if I'm going to bet, that the team is going to do something that's smart, right? The smart decision is to keep Bridgewater. There's no question about it. There's no argument about that. Teddy's Bridgewater is worlds better, both in minutia and overall play, than Sam Darnold, because, for obvious reasons. Why anyone would expect Sam Darnold to be better than Teddy Bridgewater, I think opens that person up to questions about, their psyche. Teddy Bridgewater is obviously much better. He plays like it. He's playing lights out football preseason. It's only going to carry into the regular season when you start game planning. So I would be shocked, to be honest with you. I would be shocked, okay? I would be shocked if the Jets did that. And Capital Russell says regarding Khalil Mack, the Mack is gone. Mark doesn't have the money to pay him. And Black Lion says, Rob Iman says, Jets have a long history of making the wrong choices at quarterback. Yeah, they do. But to keep Sam Darnold because he's the guy look, I'm going to say something straight out that I think needs to be said. It's wrong for the league to push the drafting of quarterbacks and give them high dollar just because they're white. And there's a lot of pumping up. There's supposed to be going on since Cam Newton, the Cam Newton era, as I call it, when they tried to pump up Blaine Gabbert as being better than Cam Newton. He wasn't. And this has gone on quite a bit. And it's nuts. Leave the issue of color out of it and just let the person play. But by action, the NFL acts like it's a color issue. And so we wind up having these teams stumbling all over themselves to get quarterbacks like Sam Darnold. You know what I remember about Sam Darnold? I remember 6 interceptions. I can't get that out of my mind. I remember thinking that when Cal played USC last year with him at quarterback, we should have beaten them. And now you're going to tell me that Sam Darnold is just this some great dude? Look, Sam Darnold was the product of a fantastic offensive design created by T. Martin, who is the offensive coordinator. The same T. Martin that Mark Davis made fun of as possibly being the Raiders head coach last year. Okay? That T. Martin did a fantastic job in coaching Sam Darnold, but that does not mean Sam Darnold is ready to march the Jets to the Super Bowl on day one. No. All right? And Barry Lee says, just saw online that CBS is being sued by an indie game developer for copyright infringement over Star Trek Discovery. Wow. Jay Boogie says, Jay Boogie, you're nuts. Jay Boogie is just nuts. And Jay Boogie only wrote what I'm not going to read for me to read it, which is I'm not going to read it, because that would mean, for me to read that would mean that I would, in the next breath, have to say, are you high? You got to be high. All right? You got to be high. All right? Got to be high. All right, next. Raider24 says they should make the guaranteed money on Mock's contract depending on the amount of sacks he gets. That's a good idea. Well, actually, it's not, Raider, because then it's not guaranteed. All right? Guaranteed money from a player perspective is just guaranteed, period. It's just, that's it. It's not guaranteed if you're going to say, hey, look, we guarantee it. It's an incentive. There's guaranteed and an incentive. All right? That's an incentive. So keep that. Let's just not confuse the two. That's an incentive. Cowboy Wrestler says Teddy Bridgewater should be the starting quarterback for the Jets. Darnold, I believe, is not ready. No, he's not. He doesn't. Jay Boogie believes that Mark doesn't have enough liquid cash to pay for the max guarantees and bonuses. Cowboy Wrestler says Mark Davis right now regarding Mac. No, as he destroys his toy ships. Joseph Bensman writes, in ending Tebow's career, talking about what the Jets did. Yeah, they did. They did. Jay Boogie asks, oh God, a question that's giving me a headache. Yes, what can Sam Darnold do better than Arnold? Let's see. Oh, how about read defenses better? How about read them faster to where he knows where to go with the football like that? How about, maneuvering in the pocket? How about understanding when to take a sack? How about, I can go on and on and on and on and on. Really? Seriously? Jay Boogie, you just don't know football. You just straight out don't know the game of football. It's not even a discussion, okay? Period, all right? All right? At all, okay? As Barry Lee just put, he says, there must be some good points, but to believe Darnold is 10 times better? Yeah, that's crazy. It's absolutely, the only reason you would put that out there is maybe if you were like, Bousman or something, you just wanted to engage in a silly conversation. I did say that. Just to get me going, John Acala said, Mac meeting with Lions general manager tomorrow, according to Bleacher Report. Whoa, is that right? If that's the case, let me see what Twitter's saying about Khalil Mack. Because if that's the case, Khalil Mack to the Lions. Look, how about Khalil Mack to the Jets? Holy crap. Wait a minute. Are the Jets on our... Let me see the Raiders' schedule. Raiders 2018 schedule. If the Raiders play the Jets this year... let's see here. I don't think we do. Got Seahawks, Raiders, Browns, Raiders, Chargers, Colts. I don't think we should expect to see the Jets. We don't. Don't have the Jets this year. So that's a dodge. However, we do have the Lions. No, that's preseason. But I thought we played them during the regular season. Who we played in the NFC? The regular season. We've got, wait a minute. Chiefs, Raiders, the 49ers, of course. We played the 49ers and the Cardinals. We played the, that's right, we played the NFC West. So Khalil Mack's not going that way, at least not yet. But the Raiders better keep their, wow. What's to stop either one of those teams from doing a sign and trade? Sign him and then trade Mack to an enemy, right? I mean, I'm pretty certain that you can do a sign and trade in the NFL or the equivalent to one. I just wanted to know when the last time one was done. Let me see, sign and trade NFL. Let's see here. Zero technique, the NFL sign and trade. Let's see here. Why the NFL trade deadline? Sign and trade agreements. Zero Technique wrote about this. The Texans' Andre Johnson, this is in 2014, tired of his team's perpetual rebuilding, has requested a trade. Houston can hardly afford to trade him, though, because while getting rid of Johnson would have them would save them having to pay him $15 million, it would also add almost $12 million in dead money to their salary cap, leaving a net savings of only around $3.7 million. Replacing anything close to Johnson's production for only $3.7 million would be impossible. So, so Houston is forced to keep their unhappy player. And it says that the Johnson example shows how the rules governing NFL player contracts helps make trades rare, especially for star players with large contracts, excuse me. When they do happen, and this is the case with Khalil Mack, I'm reading, when they do happen, trades tend to involve players near the end of their contracts who are at risk of being cut outright. With some careful contract structuring, however, a trade could allow two teams to capitalize much more on their individual resources in a big way that would benefit both teams and the traded player. And so this person argues that NFL contracts have both a guaranteed and a non-guaranteed portion, and then goes on and basically says that, and basically forms a structure for what would be a sign and trade. Okay, so, and I have to, this is a lot to digest right here. I have to double down on it. I don't want to bore you with, you know, wading too much in the weeds there. But it is possible to do a sign and trade. My point is that if I think what I'm concerned about is a different kind of sign and trade. And the sign and trade I'm thinking about is where, let's say the Lions sign him and then they trade him. Okay? And they trade him to the Niners. Or they trade him to the Chargers. Or they trade him to the Broncos. Okay? That's what I'm getting at. Barry Lee says, Zinni, I have to ask, how's my mom is, she's better today. Yesterday, last night was tough. In fact, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to stop at about 140, about 140. But her pain, let me put it this way, it's better today, but last night was just difficult. She was in a lot of pain, and she's better tonight, you know. Thank you for asking. But like I said, I've said it before, I'll say it again, this is the second toughest year of my life. So, thank you, Barry Lee says, thank you. John Acala says, McCown, I think, is going to start for the Jets with Bridgewater backing him up, and Donald would be number 3. If McCown starts over Bridgewater with those stats, that's crazy. I mean, how could you even suggest such a thing? That's absolutely flat out nuts. It just is. Teddy Bridgewater is playing lights out ball, and you're gonna suggest that McCown starts over him? Or are you basically telling me you think the Jets are stupid enough to do that? Just asking, all right? Black Lion says, this all smoke and no fire. Inside Mac will be a Raider. I'm bet on it. Black Lion, I'm inclined to agree with you. I think the Raiders letting go of a person who's so popular and has given so much to the organization and means so much to the success of the team and would make a good defense great. Just like that, okay? I think it would be sick to let him go. I really do. Just the reading that he would be traded is awful. He's worth a lot of money. And the Raiders should basically say to Gruden, hey, you want to take $10 million off that contract of yours? You know, we'll pay you back, get you in the back end, right? So, yeah, as Cowboy Wrestler regarding the whole idea of McCown starting, he's like, McCown starts what? McCown? No. Raider 24 says the Lions news about Mac is from 2014. Oh. So, if it's news about Mac, wait, here's the thing, all right? We had Khalil Mack, look at this. I want you to see, this is not 2014 stuff. Look at this, okay? You see, if you type Khalil Mack in Twitter, first it was Khalil Mack Niners, now it's Khalil Mack 49ers, trade, Packers, Patriots. Okay? So this is today. This is what people are talking about. So, but at one point the Khalil Mack Lions popped up. So let's delve deeper. Let's take Khalil Mack 49ers, all right? Solomon Thomas, Reuben Foster, first round for Khalil Mack. That deal would be beneficial for both sides. The Raiders would essentially get 3 first-round picks. Got it? Okay. That's August 23rd, okay? That was the top. All right, now the latest there. All right? This is more speculation. Must guarantee he will sign, all right? What is Khalil Mack's trade value at this point? It's going to, okay. It's going to be after SF trades, right? I don't care. Pro Football Talk says a dozen teams are injured. 4 teams are very interested. If they didn't say any specific teams, I would be shocked if the 49ers didn't reach out to Lynch's former head coach, all right? Let's see what, if we take Khalil Mack, we do a copy paste here, all right? Copy. And then paste his name in here. Let's see what we get, all right? Khalil Mack, Raiders not slamming door on possibility of Khalil Mack trade. That's Pro Football Talk. So let's see what Mike Florio's guys are reporting. That's by Florio himself, okay? And it says Rams, Aaron Darnold are on the verge of signing a record-setting deal. The Raiders and Khalil Mack could be on the verge of a possible divorce. All right, and that's where that starts out, folks. Yikes. So this isn't made up. He's apparently going someplace. And again, that Friday performance by the Raiders defensive line does not make the situation any better. Florio writes, per a source with knowledge of the situation, the Raiders haven't slammed the door on the possibility of trading the 2016 Defensive Player of the Year. That said, the Raiders are being coy with the teams that have inquired. Then he says, the recent reports have included as many as a dozen. Whoa. You know, a half dozen is 6, right? Like a baker's dozen? Okay. That's a half dozen. You know, a dozen's 12. That's 12 teams. 12 teams have inquired about Khalil Mack. 12. Okay? 12. 4 teams are exploring the possibility very seriously. All right? Whether a deal happens hinges on large part on whether a team can make the Raiders happy with compensation and Mack happy with whatever will be offered financially. With Aaron Donald possibly getting to $22 million per year, Khalil Mack may want at least that much, if not more. Trade or no trade, the Raiders and Mack remain locked. There's a typo in here. They have locked. They remain locked in a bizarre impasse. He's one of the best defensive players in the league, but this is Pro Football writing. I agree, by the way. But Mack hasn't gotten any offers from the team since February. Basically, the Raiders are treating Khalil Mack like they treat the Coliseum JPA. Just saying. At this point, the Raiders may simply be waiting to see whether Khalil Mack is willing to skip regular season game checks, which will exceed $814,000 per week. Woo! Hey, I'm looking for investors, Khalil. You want to skip? Tell the Raiders to send it, towards Zennie62 Media. Thank you. I'll give you the requisite amount of stock. We'll negotiate that. At any rate, actually, the Raiders want to cut of that too, but I digress. Anyway, look, $814,000 a week. Or the Raiders may be waiting for a trade offer that makes them willing to move on from a player who may already have a permanent chip on his shoulder when it comes to new Raiders coach John Gruden, who currently holds the keys to the coffers. That's a very long-winded way of saying he don't like John. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. I can imagine what John is saying too. And John, look, if you're a guy who isn't used to a guy who's, look, not exactly shy with his words, talking to the way John does, or can, and you can't give back that. You don't have the internal confidence. Physical confidence is one thing. Intellectual confidence is another. If you don't have the intellectual confidence to stick with John, he can eat you up. I'm just saying, okay? And John is a guy, I like John, but I was explaining John the play, and I was saying, John, you got to think about it. He goes, I got it. He said, yeah, but I want to make sure you get this, okay? And I realized as I was talking to him that, God, I feel like I'm talking to myself. So I get where he's coming from, but it can rub some people the wrong way. Anyway, as I was saying, John has, John's got to figure out what he wants to do with that, okay? Because it's not a good look. You turn around and you've got, let's see, since Gruden came in, we've gotten rid of Janikowski. We don't have King. Nobody's really crying about that too much. We're going to lose Khalil Mack. We don't have Cordarrelle Patterson, who's looks like his days with the Patriots started out pretty well. So John doesn't want to find himself in a position where he's letting go of quality players because of some attitude that it's either my way or the highway rather than a negotiation. He doesn't want to be thought of as that. He doesn't want to wind up creating enemies around the league that are players well positioned with certain teams to take advantage of the Raiders. Just saying. Don't we have a situation where even the Chiefs have a number of ex-Raider players? Have you noticed that? Rest in peace, Neil Simon. 27, 1997 to 2018, 91 years old, fantastic playwright. Created The Odd Couple. That's right, The Odd Couple. Black Lion says this has nothing to do with Chucky. Mack. The deal is on Mark Davis. I'm inclined to agree with you. It's a matter of money, but it's But you know, John could say, you know what, I really need that guy in here. I really need that guy in here. The reason why I'm responding is I'm not going to say Ferrell gets it right all the time. Talking about Pro Football Talk. But what I read put the issue in John's seat. And maybe they were just being flipped when they wrote that. And in fairness to what you just said, Black Ryan, I'll look into that. Okay, I'll look into that. Carlos, how you doing? Carlos says, does Khalil Mack actually want to leave the Raiders? I don't know. I don't think he actually wants to. He just wants to be treated fairly. Cowboy Wrestler says Aaron Donald will be resigned since Stan Kroenke resigned rather, since Kroenke has a lot of dough. And Black Lion says, yeah, 12 teams. That's how you know it's not going to happen. Oh, I get what you're saying. We got 12 teams wanting to take you, man. It's a negotiating tactic. I get what you're saying. And John Marks had a bad internet connection, but you're nice. Oh, Barry Lee has to go. Sorry, Barry. We'll see you. And yeah, I got to go too. It's 1:41 very soon. I should probably start signing off now. Muhammad Ahmad says, Mac ain't going nowhere. Raiders rejected some really good offers recently. Okay. I hope you're right. I want to see Khalil Mack in the Raiders defense as it is being wonderfully coached by Paul Gunther. Okay? So I would love to see. I'd love to see that. You would too. Bensman says next time around the players union is going to have a way better conventional. What's wrong with my head? I know what's wrong with it. Collective bargaining agreement. Obviously, the Raiders want way more moolah. Hey, by the way, folks, I'm looking for new vloggers. If any one of you is interested in vlogging, okay? If anyone is interested in vlogging, put a Y, send an email to me here. Zennie at Zennie62. Identify yourself with real name, background. If you already have a YouTube channel, having a YouTube channel is a plus. Want to talk sports, that sort of thing. Sign up new vloggers. All right. Good night, CW. All right, folks, I am going to sign out. This has been a lot of fun. I feel like I can go, from longer. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Wax on, wax off, wax on. Well, Jamal is just coming in. Jamal, man. Dang it. Jamal. Oh, man, I gotta get... Jeez. I'll be back tomorrow, all right? I gotta get Jamal. Oh, man, Jamal. I'll see ya. Came late to the party, man. As Bruce Willis would say, welcome to the party, pal. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Watch horror films, as John Marks would say. Can you keep America strong? Oh, and I got a horror film I got to review, too. I'm glad you mentioned that. Woo! All right, good night, everybody. See ya.